Vera's Melancholy, Volume 6. Vera's Melancholy, Volume 6. There was once a great scholar who wished to write a book about all the festive days of the Empire. After looking into it more closely, he discovered that every single day had some sort of a festival associated with it. He persevered with this monumental writing task for 6 months before giving up on it. But don't worry, as far as this book is concerned, I am the author, and I won't let my readers down. For every season. Though those things had indeed happened, they were occurrences on a galactic scale. Now, something more mundane was about to happen. The date of the town festival was drawing near. I suppose it's finally my turn to introduce you two to this small town, then? Vera said as she served the princess and Ike her very own braised dishes. After all, those things they had encountered in their galactic escapades had to be explained by the princess and Ike. If there was any knowledge Vera had to present to them, it was the knowledge of her hometown. Afterward, the great king's first messenger, the brave knight Huffman, strode west across 2 continents, crossing great oceans and rivers. As for the imperial sage, the witch from the east, she passed by her hometown on her road eastward, then came by the land of the nether. Thus, they finally met here. Huh, is that so? How interesting. Though she was trying hard not to let Vera notice that she did not, in fact, care for the story at all, the princess's acting skills required some work. So, that can only mean that this place is on the polar opposite side of this world from the Great King's capital, right? Ike said, commenting on a seemingly unimportant aspect of the tale. That's true if you think about it. Vera rubbed the back of her head with a crooked smile. I've always said that I want to leave this place, but in the end, I discovered that this is the place I'm most familiar with. Having come to this realization on the eve of the town's anniversary, Vera began crying right in front of Sachi's eyes. You numbskull, you made Vera cry! The princess made her entry with a flying kick, sending Sachi hurtling away. Volume 7. In the star clusters at the outer reaches of the universe, habitable planets are few and far between. For this reason, the region is the playground of space captains and pirates alone. With this being the universe, though, there is no port and starboard in the traditional sense. Out here, starboard means whichever side of your spacecraft is oriented towards the star you are using for navigation. Lose yourself, and especially your sense of direction, in this next chapter of Vera's starbound voyage. Galaxy Wars. Reigniting a sun is not difficult, but I don't think the Andromeda Empire would like to see that happen, Ike said to the panicked Vera. Do you mean that the princess has kidnapped Sachi? Vera said with some shock in her voice after giving the matter some thought. How did you come to that conclusion? I'm saying that only the Andromeda Empire would be capable of kidnapping you and the princess. Ike then turned to face the innumerable lives that dwelled within the galaxy. He paused for a moment before declaring thus. Inhabitants of the galaxy, though I have come here upon the invitation of the High Saint King Lebanon to reignite the flames of the few remaining stars, it seems the Andromeda Empire does not wish for your longevity and has thus kidnapped my friend. Are you then to put their lives over that of all life? Saint King Lebanon arose from her seat. If that's the case, why then do I rule over these stars? Finally, the Saint King would charge into peril alone, defeat the assassins from the Andromeda Empire, and rescue both the princess and Sachi. Afterward, she had a few words with Ike. I didn't think you could defeat the dominant species of Andromeda, Ike praised. They're a strong and hardy race. I suppose it's true, then, that you defeated the Holy Dragon en route to becoming the Saint King. I am, in fact, that same Holy Dragon. I fused with Lebanon's flesh and blood, and now act according to her wishes. Huh. Ike was a little shocked by this. Yes. Is that the fellow the person the second princess is fond of? When I barged in, they were... What? Now that was a much bigger shock for Ike. Ooh, cliffhanger, okay. Volume 8. Of course, boys aren't invited to the girls' slumber party. Girls are sacrosanct, like the gods of the Golden Age. Vera, the princess, Saint King Lebanon, and alpha female of the galactic swarm, shall talk deep into the night. The girls themselves. I said it was a misunderstanding. She was about to eat me, Sachi explained. I don't think she was intending to eat you, Ike said, pushing his glasses up. The dominant race of the Andromeda Empire have organs on the palms of their hands that allow them to capture and consume eyeballs. I've seen it before. Looks sort of like... lamprey? Sachi shivered a little as he said that last word. Let me finish. Ike wanted to touch his eyes, but wound up pressing his fingerprint into his glasses. Taking his glasses off, he touched his left eye. The practice of eating eyes has two meanings. Submission, he touched his right eye, and love. Sachi also began to rub both eyes, thinking about which it was back then. Whatever the case, I don't think the princess really understands the difference. Those who submit to her, those she conquers, those who love her, they're all the same to her. People who can't hurt her in an imperial succession battle. Huh. No wonder those Andromeda Empire assassins kidnapped her. Two birds with one stone, eh? I'm not getting involved in their succession wars. I can only help you support her better. Hey now, we're not like that. I mean, doesn't she hate me the most? And what were the girls talking about at this very moment? That may yet be an eternal mystery. Oh, that one was short. On to the next one, then. Volume 9. Vera is so beautiful, like a shining star in the universe, but boys at this age are always more petite than girls of a similar age. Childhood must be let go of to welcome the coming of the adolescent years. It's not too late to think about it now. Real melancholy finally hits Vera. Death awaits in abyssal waves. As Vera and Sachi grew up, the chemistry between the four changed in subtle and inexplicable ways. Enough with the excuses, Sachi said to Ike. Vera will not cease pursuing you, even if you never reciprocate her feelings. Ike was a symbol of a faraway land. He stood for the unknown, for that which was waiting to be discovered. A brave bird would never nest there, but would forever be adrift in the winds of admiration. Ike retorted, "No matter which way you look at it, being 1,000 years old makes you an elderly person." "Then we are well matched in age," the princess merrily chipped in on their conversation. When Sachi finally mustered the courage to declare his love, he met with the most dreadful fate. Remember the ancient sword that Ike and Vera received from the old ones when they first met? It was what Ike needed to propel destiny forward. But now, Vera had her finger slit by its blade, and a malicious ancient virus sapped the life out of her. "This is all your fault!" Sachi grabbed Ike by the collar. If the tragedy had not happened, Ike would have left it off, for he was a gentle soul. But this time, he slapped Sachi's hand away. "Don't you know how to rewind time? Please, do it to save Vera!" Even the princess begged. "You don't understand. Only the future can save the past, not the other way around." Ike bit his lip until blood came flowing down. A local myth speaks of a silver age when people enjoyed a seemingly endless childhood that could last up to 200 years. This only made their short maturity a pain to bear. To others, childhood was long gone, but youth was forever beyond their reach. To be continued in Vera's Melancholy without Vera. Volume 10. It's enough. Let's go home. The furthest place I've dreamt of is the Delphi where you are. Though the explanation is delayed, you should know that Delphi is the center of Greek mythology. Are we into that? Vera's Melancholy, the perfect ending. Or is it? Vera's Melancholy. To revive Vera, Sachi, Ike, and the princess embarked on a spectacular and thrilling journey that lasted 20 years. From battling Signor Inferno to slaying the Star Devourer. The trio had even rescued 2 galaxies and the Galaxy Empire, and eliminated 4 species of ruthless interstellar worms along the way. When Vera opened her eyes, she found herself in the arms of Sachi, now a hero of cosmic proportions. To the dominant species of Andromeda, 20 years was nothing more than a few seconds. The princess looked lovely as always, but her countenance was a curious mix of genuine happiness and loss. Sachi, having lost an eye in his adventures, was now a tall and strapping young man. His flowing tears soaked into Vera's shoulders. Though still prone to tears, he was no longer his feeble-minded self. The years had been kind to Ike, who after all this time still had that same old smile on his face. "I am but an echo of time," Ike said as he began his preparations. "As I've said, the past cannot change the future, for the predetermined rules of equilibrium are slightly more powerful than me. But the future, with its infinite possibilities, could save the world." Ike transformed Sachi back into what he was 20 years ago, and time reversed itself to the day of their departure. Everything seemed to remain unchanged between the 4, though they realized that the innocence they once shared was one thing that could never return. I am sorry for depriving you of your childhood, Ike said to him. Now go. The youth that you deserve waits. I have witnessed every wonder in the universe for your sake, and this was how my childhood ended. Sachi summoned every last ounce of his courage as he stood before the girl of his destiny. I will never reach my youth without you by my side. What will her answer be? Editor's note. The author of Vera's Melancholy is now off living the high life with the royalties from the first 9 volumes. If you happen to see him in your corner of the universe, please help us to impress upon him the urgency with which we require the next volume.